Bardock or Super Saiyan 3 Trunks. Or, heck, I think Super Saiyan 5 Goku would have been cool. Or throw in Super Saiyan 4 Goku, man. That's at least something. I was expecting him to throw in the GT stuff, but all we get is Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Omega Shenron. And I mean, we also get the appearance of Grade 8 baby Vegeta, who now has a new voice actor. It's now Vic Mignogna instead of Mike McFarlane, which makes sense. But I mean, like, Mike McFarlane did a good job. Plus, it reminded me of Starscream, too, from the Transformers Armada show, which I thought was pretty cool. I mean, that's really, like, most of the stuff we get. I mean, they throw in Metacooler as a boss, which is pretty cool. This game actually, yeah, this game has boss battles. Like, you've got the 2 Great Apes, regular Great Ape, and then you've got Great Ape Baby Vegeta. Which, both those were actually pretty hard. Like when I would finally get to the part where I would beat him, or like I was close to beating, I was like, okay, I better not mess this up, because I figure if I mess this up and I have to start all over, it's like, wow. And Metacooler was just brutal. Like, the game got to be, it was getting unfair. Honestly, it was starting to be a little unfair. Like characters would like break patterns, or like there's this one move where, Great Ape, the first Great Ape slams one fist down, then he slams another. Well, sometimes he would, like, as you were flying by, and like as he's putting his fist on, he would like switch, like instantly move his fist to where you were, and it's like, how's that even fair? There was like a big trick and a big strategy to beating those bosses. And the Metacooler one, that was pretty hard until you figured out what you were supposed to do. And then, of course, what there being Janemba, that was also interesting. That one wasn't too terribly bad. But, But in my opinion, the big highlight was actually the red Shenron. I thought that was pretty cool. You actually got to fight Shenron. Which, I've never seen that done in a Dragon Ball game before. I mean, yeah, they've done stuff where, like, end-game content, you get to fight Broly, or end-game content, you get to unlock Broly and Bardock, or you can unlock Hercule and Great Saiyaman, and, whatnot. Like, if you get the Japanese version of this game, we're going to throw in people from Nekomajin, or Nekomajin, my bad. But I think that being able to fight, like, the Eternal Dragon himself, Shenron, pretty cool, in my personal opinion. But, that was fun. Then, it turns out that the dragon was possessed by Omega Shenron's negative energy, so you have to beat up Shenron. Then he's like, okay, I'm sorry. And then they do the whole thing where, like, okay, restore the world back to the way it used to be. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that because I'm not strong enough. And it's like, okay, well then bring back all the people who died during the fight, and then we'll make the world a better place. I think for story purposes, the player character meant to bring back all of the good guys. But, what the game does, like, he flies off, your character flies off, and then you have access to all of the previous fights you could do. Like, you fight Captain Ginyu in, like, the first one. Like, you have all the levels, so you can just replay them again if you really want to, which would be pretty useful for, like, future dubbing projects. Hint, hint. But for the story mode and for this dragon hero mode, whatever it's called, I don't even remember what it's called. They do the Budokai 3 and the Budokai Tenkaichi 2 thing where you can fly around and whatnot. But, I don't really know what else I can say about it. The game, okay. It was okay. I mean, it's not the best Dragon Ball game out there. But it was fun for while it lasted, and you know, I hope that they throw in more character creation in the future. Like, do the Dragon Ball Hero stuff, because in that one they threw in like like all different kinds of stuff, and now we have female Super Saiyans. But hopefully we'll get some other cool stuff. Honestly, I'm more of a Budokai kind of person, like, because I feel like I'm actually playing a Dragon Ball fighting game and not like and I feel like I'm not like playing a Dragon Ball Z episode, because I don't want that. If I want to see an episode, I'll bring out one of the Dragon Boxes and watch an episode, or go on the internet and look up an episode. Like, when it comes to video games, I'd rather actually play Dragon Ball Z, not play an episode of Dragon Ball Z. I know it's free roaming, but honestly, that's not that cool. I mean, it's a fighting game. You're not really supposed to be able to move anywhere you want. But, you know, that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it if you don't want to. But this might be the last Tenkaichi game, or Blast game, whatever. I don't know what they're going to do next. I hope they do more Budokai stuff. Like, they get Dimps to bring it over. I mean, Bandai is now doing all the Dragon Ball stuff. So, I mean, we don't have to worry about Atari, you know, anymore. Not that they did a bad job. They were just really the publishers of the games, which I was personally fine with. But now we've got Bandai. But yeah, overall, it's an okay game, but don't expect it to last long. And I mean, like, last like less than Raging Blast or any other Dragon Ball game where you play repeatedly over and over with your friends. No, you don't play Ultimate Tenkaichi with your friends. You just play it, then you're done. But yeah, now on to the next game. The last game on this list, finally, and we're even friggin' over the limit. The last game, though, is The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Yep, we finally have Skyrim to talk about. I had kind of high expectations for this game, and in my opinion, rightfully so, because Todd Howard, the director or producer or whatever, he was all like, oh, this game, you know, it's going to have, like, unlimited amount of quests, and, you know, it's going to be, like, this big thing. And he was right about, you know, the quest things, because while they do sometimes start to repeat a little bit, I think they're designed to, like, make sure you have, like, a complete map of the whole thing. Like, if you haven't visited a dungeon or a fort yet, they'll be like, oh, like, there are these dragon creature things attacking places. Go fight things. Or something like that. And then, like, you go to that one dungeon. But, you know. Well, I'm kind of try and go in order with this one, because I do have a good bit to talk about with this game. But like I said, I set high expectations. And with that said, you know, I played this game and I enjoyed it from a gameplay and, you know, and story in a way standpoint. But, like, I felt like something was missing. Like, when I was playing, it's like something just felt off about it. I'm not really sure what it is, but I felt like something was missing. I'm not entirely sure what it was. I think it might have to do with the customization, but I'm not really sure. And so, you start off, you know, being a prisoner. You're about to be sent off to your execution. And whatnot. Excuse me. And you get to make your character. It's like, okay, we're going to call roll. Okay, you. Okay. It's like, wait a second. Who are you? And then you make your person. And naturally, in this game, they start you off as a Nord. The Nords actually look good in this game. Like, in Oblivion, I didn't really think they looked that good. Honestly, you know, the faces in Oblivion weren't really that good. And they weren't as realistic, but of course I didn't really care. I mean, it was a fantasy game, so I wasn't really too concerned with the faces. But anywho, so yeah, the entire engine has like this big facelift, and you get to make your character. The Imperials, they look kind of Middle Eastern, which I found interesting, because they, to me, they kind of seem like they were sort of like they were like just the standard white guy. I mean, I know we've got the Nords, which are like the big people. We've got the Bretons, which are like the smaller people. They're more magic oriented, while the Nords are more offensive, and the Imperials being in a balance, which I prefer because, you know, that's just the way I am. But you know, the Imperials, they looked kind of Middle Eastern. A lot of the characters looked like they kind of had a different sort of tone to them. I didn't actually take a look at the Bretons, so I don't really know what to call them, but you know, the Dark Elves, they looked dark. They looked kind of rough and edgy. The Khajiit, they looked like cats. The Argonians, they looked like lizards, although there were so few of them. It's kind of funny. And whatnot. My main, and you can customize like dirt, which is weird. I mean, I guess the place is kind of dirty, but you can give your guy like certain kind of like eye markings, like I think they call it battle markings or something. You can give your guy different color eyes, sort of. You can make your guy like blind in one eye or blind in both eyes. Just skin color and complexion, which I think they've made like to where it's just like age. I don't really know. You can still like edit like, you know, the kind of features you want if you want to do more customization. And thankfully this game has beards. So you can give your guy a beard. Like in Oblivion, it was just scruff for everybody, or fuzz rather. Sorry, my throat's kind of like weird. It's like clogged up or something. Anywho, let's see. What else? You can, you know, size and whatnot. You actually have weight this time. But if you want like someone who's average, it's best that you just leave it alone. Like, don't even try to like, you know, see the differences, because then like you'll mess the entire thing up. Because if you move it once, your guy like becomes like skinny as crap. And of course, there's hairstyle and hair color, which that's one of the things that annoyed me about the game. They didn't have like a color wheel or custom colors that you could do. Really have like the red, green, the blue, and you just kind of mix and match to make your hair color. I didn't like that, honestly, because I know it's not as realistic, but I mean, you know, it's a fantasy video game. Does it really need to be realistic? And I mean, I guess it kind of does. I mean, I was able to get sort of like auburny hair, and, you know, depending on what kind of TV you're on, it kind of looks like red hair. But, you know, that was a little bit of a disappointment. Like, my guy looks more like the way he did in Morrowind, as opposed to the way he did in Oblivion, when he had pink hair, or on the PC version where he had red hair. I mean, I guess that's one little throwback, because this game does kind of give a Morrowind kind of feel. It doesn't really feel like Oblivion. I think that's part of it. It doesn't really feel like Oblivion. It kind of feels like, you know, because Oblivion, in my opinion, feels more like a worldwide Elder Scrolls game. I know that's kind of weird to say, considering that you only are in Tamriel, but I don't know, just Tamriel just kind of felt bigger, I guess. I don't really know. It's weird, but I really do like Skyrim. It's a great game. So I dealt with that. And in this game, there aren't like the little like major skills, so that made leveling up easier. Just when you got better in any skill, you'd be closer to leveling up, which makes the system a little abusable, because then you can just stand there and like either get hit or stand there and guard to get your block or your heavy armor or your light armor up and hit stuff, and just sit there and like summoning your sword and whatnot. That's another thing I had wrong with this game. With the summoning stuff, there weren't any skeletons. That's like a big part for me when it comes to these RPGs. Or at least these single player ones. I really like summoning skeletons. I mean, in Elder Scrolls, you don't really need it. And honestly, you know, this game isn't necessarily too difficult. I'm playing on like the if this game had a very easy, normal, hard, and very hard, I'm playing on easy. Right below normal. I played on normal for the beginning part, but when I fought my first troll. It was a little too hard. And those trolls are like beasts.